Welcome to the HR Happy Hour Work Week. My name's Steve Bowes. I am joined by Tiffany Gamblin from Paycom.
Hello.
Tiffany, how are you?
I am doing wonderful.
It is great to see you.
Thank you. You too.
Tiffany, I'll say it. Happy Halloween.
Thank you.
It is Halloween
It
as
is
we
Halloween.
record this.
Yes, it is Halloween. So
it's great to be back here in Oklahoma City. I looked up in my notes. I was last here in May of 2022.
yeah.
And we sat down and did one of these shows. It was one of the favorites of the year. So when I knew I was coming back, I said, can we please ask Tiffany if she's willing to do like 10 minutes with me on the video?
Of course. Yes. So much fun.
So it's great to see you. All right. I was here in May, back in
Yes.
Oklahoma City. We sat down and did our thing here for 10 minutes. It was great. What's been happening? How's the summer been for Paycom, for you? Catch us up.
Yeah, I mean it's a little sad that the summer's over. This morning I had to
It is
turn
a
on my
beautiful day
little
today.
heat seater, and that made me kind of sad. But yeah, it's been busy. It's been good. Personally, I will say my in-laws got a pool this year, and they
I love the in-laws for that.
Yes, they live very close to us, so it's nice. We get to go and use it, and then pack up and go home, and they do all the work.
Wow, I know.
Which we love. So
and
that's
you
very
can
nice.
get some summer here in Oklahoma
Yes.
City too.
Oh, you can. Yeah, for sure.
sure.
But big news, we did open our Grapevine location. So our ops location there had a big grand opening. And so we have technology, operations employees, HR employees there, can seat 1,000.
Okay.
So really excited about that expansion in Texas. And on the DE&I front, we also, really exciting, we have launched our employee resource groups.
Okay. Oh, that's
And so
great.
that's something that we've been working on for years, and we've been able to get our steering committee up and going. We've been able to get our advisory council, and we have all kinds of groups.
How's the response been from the employee base for
Really
that?
positive. So really positive. We've got people that are excited because it's an ARG that impacts them. They want to learn how to be an ally. All different types. So we have veterans groups, working parents. We've got LGBTQ+. So something for everybody. So we're really excited that we've got that up and going.
Yeah, that's awesome news. I did not know that, so that's great. Thank you for sharing that. And that's kind of like, Paycom's been around for a while, but it's a growing company. But man, it's like that is a very good response to growth, right?
Yes.
Because now you've got so many more employees, you've got more locations, right? And you know that, hey, I've got a group of veterans, I've got a group interested in this, or I've got a group that cares about maybe autism spectrum or whatever, right? The group may be, and taking steps to kind of address the needs of those groups, because after a while, they're not small groups, they're kind of big,
Well, and the employee response has been really, really positive. Of course, we have recommendations for new groups, and so we're excited to kick off with these few and then see how this grows.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great, Tiffany. One of the things we talked about, I was here to do a couple of things, and I recorded a webinar today, and one of the things I talked about some on the webinar was stress.
Oh, sure.
And mental health, and just how, look, everybody knows this, right? It's not a secret. It's been almost 3 years now of pandemic era, right, and turmoil. Are there things, you mentioned employee resource groups, I think that's probably a good example. Are there other things that kind of Paycom and Paycom HR has done or is thinking about doing to kind of help employees just manage stress, support mental health, and just kind of keep it together when it's still not always been easy to keep it together?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and we're going into year end, which for a lot of organizations, and Paycom's no different, is very busy. So we've got a lot going on. From an employee perspective, we still have our well-being advisors that are on site and available to support. We're trying to continue to beef up our EAP programs, our wellness programs overall. We have fitness, on-site fitness center, and even outdoor fitness equipment. And so we're really excited about that, because if somebody just wants to take a walk, if they just want to, go around, we have a beautiful campus, but there's also, if they want to participate in classes or join their friend for a walk, we try to make sure that there's lots of avenues to get that support and take a break however they need, and to continue to support that and do fun things. Like we're having costume contests today, we're having, the cookout type thing, so all of that.
That's great, and it's important, right? Because especially for a company that's, an HR technology platform, does a full suite of HCM solutions, but also largely known or often known as a payroll provider, right?
Yes.
There's nothing more stressful and kind of time crunchy than year-end payroll, right? Like and getting ready for year-end payroll. So obviously your client organizations have loads to do to get ready for the year-end, but also your teams, right? Your legislative updates and patching, if whatever, just making sure high availability high availability, right? Because you're going to have so many more users coming on towards the end of the year, et cetera, et cetera. So end of year here for a payroll technology company has got to be particularly interesting too.
It's a lot. It's never boring. I'll say that. It's never boring. There's always something going on. But, I think we've talked about Betty, the self-service payroll has been so incredibly well received by our employees, and something that's really set us up for success as we move into year end, and for our clients that are using it as well. So it's definitely something that's helping to remove some of that stress for this year end.
Yeah, how's the HR thing going? Like,
Good.
I love coming here. I usually get to sit down with Jennifer and some of the other HR leaders here and have a chat a little bit. And I said the same thing. I'll say it again anyway, because it's a new show. We can do it again.
Right.
Like, doing HR or doing learning or doing talent development at a company whose really business is helping organizations with talent, with development and learning, et cetera, et cetera. It can be a little bit challenging. I'd love you to talk a little bit about that experience. Like, I'll bet the employees here have pretty high demands of you and your team's function.
They do, but I think they also have this higher than average awareness of what HR does and why it's important. And so there's actually a lot of benefit and perk to that side, because we get asked a lot of times, what do you think? What does HR think? Can you come in and give us some recommendations here? And that's huge, because it's not HR comes and everyone scatters and runs, right?
Well, so there's more like kind of
openness,
a little
to
bit
the
more
ideas.
respect, a little more elevated kind of awareness.
Which is
that does make
unique.
sense. Yeah, I like that.
From an HR perspective, for sure.
Yeah, I like that. So we're grinding down towards the end of the year, right, as we talked about. It is Halloween as we speak today. So end of year plans, like we rolled up today. We're here at Paycom, huge building, right? It's beautiful. And the first person I saw when I got out of the car this morning was somebody dressed as Scooby-Doo. Full Scooby-Doo. I'm not talking about shirt or mask. I'm talking the full top to bottom jumpsuity Scooby-Doo
all in. They
outfit.
were all in, yes.
That's a pretty cool thing, though, right? Like, because look, ultimately it's fun, I guess, here, but it's pretty serious work here as well. Like the data, the payroll data, there's millions of records, got to be super secure, et cetera, et cetera. How do you guys do? You do a good job of balancing the fun part of being here at Paycom versus, hey, we're here to do a very kind of important, serious job.
Absolutely. Well, and I think that we do try to balance those two items, and we do a pretty good job. We want people to be able to come to work, you bring your authentic self to work, and part of that is having a little bit of fun. And so for the, kind of fall festivals, we've had, cube decorating contests, we had the costume contests, and we'll wrap all of that up, and then we'll move into the holidays, and Paycom takes that really seriously too. We have a beautiful campus that we decorate, especially even in the employee-only access areas, which I think is so special.
I didn't get to go there, so I don't know. I bet it's nice, but I believe it.
It's very nice, and it's just, that's something that our organization really does for the employees, because they're the ones that are walking through those areas and getting to see that. And of course, from a philanthropy perspective, that's a big thing.
I had one more question I wanted to ask, which is about giving back and philanthropy. You can't follow Paycom on social or anywhere without seeing on the regular, quite frankly, Paycom donations and volunteerism and employees like in the community. I wanted to ask you about that. We talked about it last time, but it's such an important and really, really cool element of the Paycom culture. I wanted to ask it again, so please do share what's been going on there.
Well, it's such a cool and intentional program that we have from a philanthropy standpoint, and it's expanding in Texas with the opening of the Grapevine location. But we actually had our first annual philanthropy fair. Yes, just recently we had that, and there were 27 different nonprofits local to Oklahoma and Texas that got to come, and our employees were able to hear about their mission, understand what they were doing in the community, how they could get involved and support, and just all kinds. So whether it was foster care or pet support, or Free Mom Hugs was here. So we had something for everybody, and it was a fun surprise because we gave every participant a $1,000 donation for just coming.
Just for coming, putting up a table.
Yes, and just being a part of the philanthropy fair. So really successful. We're looking forward to continue that, and of course encouraging our employees too to find some organization to volunteer with and give back this holiday season, whatever that is. They want to sponsor a family, they want to ring a bell, they want to adopt a dog, whatever that looks like. We wanted to do
that. We just did a podcast not too long ago. We mentioned foster care, and that resonated with me because I had no idea of the foster care. I don't know. I guess I'd call it a crisis here in the United States. It was more than 100,000 kids in foster care in the United States looking for homes, and we did a show with the Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption, who works with these foster care organizations around the country, and it was remarkable. So I'm glad you did that. I'm glad you mentioned that specifically. And it's so great. Like, it's remarkable the work you guys do at Paycom. I literally go follow Paycom on Twitter or LinkedIn or go check the website. You will see Paycom giving out big giant checks for employee donations and corporate donations and service hours. It's remarkable. So last thing, Tiffany, how do people find you? You're awesome. You come great. You're great on the show. People love you. Want to find, learn, connect with you. Where do we go? Find you on LinkedIn?
LinkedIn, yep. I'm on Twitter. Not as active on Twitter. LinkedIn's probably the best.
No, that's great. No, you're all over it. That's awesome.
Yes.
Tiffany Gamblin from Paycom.
Thanks, Steve, for having me.
Happy Halloween. Thank you so much for doing this again. I will be back. Maybe next quarter. We'll do it again, like a quarterly check-in with Tiffany.
Yes,
I love it.
Let's connect.
So thanks everybody for checking this out. Thanks to our friends at Paycom for hosting us here. This is an incredible studio. I love coming here. Love doing the work break from here. Thanks again. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.